Satcharitha Chapter 12 Sai Leela's Experience of Kaka Bhajani, Dhumal Pleader, Mrs. Nimonkar, and Mule Shastri, a doctor. Now let's see in this chapter how devotees were received and treated by Baba. Saint's Mission. We have seen before that the purpose or object of divine incarnation is to protect the good and destroy the wicked. But the mission of the saints is quite different. To them, the good and the wicked are the same. First, they feel for the evildoers and set them on the right path. They are like the Agasti to destroy the Bhavasagar, to the ocean of worldly existence, or like the sun to the darkness of ignorance. The Lord, the God, dwells in the saints. In fact, they are not different from him. Our Sai is one of these who incarnated for the welfare of the devotees, supreme in knowledge and surrounded with divine luster. He loved all beings equally. He was unattached. Foes and friends, kings and paupers were the same to him. Here his powers. For the sake of devotees, he spent his stock of merits and was never ever and he was ever alert to help them. But the devotees could never approach him unless he meant to receive them. If their turn did not come, Baba did not remember them, and his leelas could not reach their ears. Then how could they think of seeing him? Some men desired to see Baba's, but they did not get any opportunity of taking his darshan till his Mahasamadhi. There are many such persons whose desire for Baba's darshan was not thus satisfied. If these persons believe in him, listen to his leelas, their quest for milk, that is darshan, will be to a great extent satisfied by the buttermilk leelas. If some persons were there by sheer luck and took Baba's darshan, were they able to stay there longer? No. Nobody could go there on their own accord, and nobody could stay there long even if he so wished. They could stay there so long as Baba permitted them to stay and had to leave the place when asked to do so by Baba. So everything depended on Baba's will. Kaka Mahajani. Once Kaka Mahajani went to Shirdi from Bombay. He wanted to stay there for 1 week and enjoy the Gokul Ashtami festival. As soon as he took Baba's darshan, Baba asked him, "When are you returning home?" He was rather surprised at this question, but he had to give an answer. He said that he would go home and Baba ordered him to do so. Then Baba said, "Go tomorrow." Baba's word was law and had to be obeyed. Kaka Mahajani therefore left Shirdi immediately. When he went to his office in Bombay, he found that his employer was anxiously waiting for him. His Munim, that is the manager, suddenly fell ill, hence Kaka's presence was absolutely necessary. He had sent a letter to Kaka at Shirdi, which was redirected to him at Bombay. Baus Sahib Dumal. Now listen to an opposite story. Once Bahu Sahib Dhumal, a pleader, was going to Niphad for a case. On the way, he came to Shirdi, took Baba's darshan, and wanted to proceed to Niphad immediately. But Baba did not permit him to do so. He made him stay at Shirdi for a week and more. In the meanwhile, the magistrate of Niphad suffered intensely from pain in the abdomen, and the case was adjourned. Mr. Dhumal was then allowed to go and attend to his case. It went on for some months and was tried by 4 magistrates. Ultimately, Mr. Dhumal won the case and his client was acquitted. Mrs. Nimonkar. Mr. Nana Sahib Nimonkar, Vatandar of Nomon and honorary magistrate, was staying at Shirdi with his wife. Mr. and Mrs. Nimonkar were spending most of their time in the masjid with Baba and serving him. It so happened that their son fell ill at Belapur, and the mother decided, with Baba's consent, to go to Belapur and see her son and other relatives and stay there for a few days. But Mr. Nana Sahib asked her to return the next day. The lady was in a fix and did not know what to do, but her god Sai came to her help. While leaving Shirdi, she went to Baba, who was standing in front of Sate's Vada, with Nana Sahib and others, and prostrated at his feet and asked his permission to go. Baba said to her, "Go quickly, be calm and unperturbed. Stay comfortably at Belapur for 4 days. See all your relatives and then return to Shirdi." How opportune were Baba's words. Mr. Nana Sahib's proposal was overruled by Baba's decree. Mule Shastri of Nasik. An orthodox Agnihotri Brahmin of Nasik by name Mule Shastri, who had studied the six Shastras and was well versed in astrology and palmistry, once came to Shirdi to see Mr. Babu Sahib Bhuti, the famous millionaire of Nagpur. After seeing him, he and others went to see Baba in the masjid. Baba bought various fruits and other things from the vendors of his own money and distributed them to the persons present in the masjid. Baba used to press the mango on all sides so skillfully that when a person received it from Baba and sucked it, it got the pulp at once in his mouth and could throw away the stone and the skin forthwith. Plantains were peeled off by Baba and the kernel was distributed to the other devotees while the skins were retained by Baba for himself. Mule Shastri, as a palmist, wanted to examine Baba's hand or palm and requested him to extend the same. Baba ignored his request and gave four plantains to him. Then they all returned to the Vada and Mule Shastri bathed, wore sacred cloths and started his routine duties via Agnihotra, etc. Then Baba as usual, started for Lendi and said, take some geru, that is red miry substance, to dye clothes in saffron color. We shall today don saffron colored cloths. None understood what Baba meant. Then, after some time, when Baba returned, and preparations for the noon arati were being made. Bapu Sahib Jog asked Mule Shastri whether he could accompany him for the arati. He replied that he would see Baba in the afternoon. Very soon Baba sat on a seat and was worshipped by the devotees and arati commenced. Then Baba said, get some dakshina from the new Nasik Brahmin. Bhuti Bhuti himself went to get Dakshina. And when he gave Baba's message to the Mule Sastri, he was sorely perplexed. He thought in his mind thus, I am a pure Agnihotri Brahmin. Why should I pay Dakshina? Baba may be a great saint, but I am not his dependent. But as a great saint like Baba was asking for Dakshina, though a millionaire like Bhuti, he could not refuse. So, leaving his routine unfinished, he forthwith started with Bhuti to the masjid. Thinking himself holy and sacred, and the masjid otherwise, he remained at a distance and joining his aunts threw flowers at Baba. Then lo, all of a sudden, he saw no Baba on seat, but saw his late Guru Gulab Swami there. He was wonderstruck. Could this be a dream? No, it wasn't. And he was wide awake. But though awake, how could his late Guru Gulab be there? He was speechless for some time. He pinched himself and thought again, but could not reconcile the fact of this late Guru Gulab being in the masjid. Ultimately, leaving all doubt, he went up, fell at his Guru's feet, and then getting up, stood there with folded hands. Other people sang Baba's Arati, while Mule Shastri chanted his Guru's name. Then, casting off all pride and caste and ideas about sacredness, he flat at his Guru's feet and closed his eyes. When he got up and opened his eyes, he saw Baba asking for Dakshina. Seeing Baba's blissful form and his inconceivable power, Mule Shastri forgot himself. He was extremely pleased. His eyes were full of tears of joy. Again saluted Baba and gave Dakshina. He said that his doubt was removed and he saw his own Guru. On seeing this wonderful Leela of Baba, all the people, including Mule Shastri, were much moved and they realized the meaning of Baba's words being bring Geru, we shall don sacred colored garment. Such is the wonderful Leela of Baba. A doctor. Once a Mamlatdar came to Shirdi with a doctor friend of his. Doctor said that his deity was Rama and that he would not bow before a Mohammedan and so he was unwilling to go to Shirdi. The Mamlatdar replied that nobody would press him to make a bow nor would ask him to do so. So he should come and give the pleasure of his company. Accordingly, they came to Shirdi and went to Masjid for Baba's darshan. All was wonderstruck to see the doctor going ahead and saluting Baba. They asked him how he forgot his resolve and bowed before a Musalman. Then the doctor replied he saw his beloved deity Rama on the seat and he therefore prostrated him before him. Then, as he was saying this, he saw Sai Baba there again. Being dismayed, he said, is this a dream? How could he be a Mohammedan? He is a great yoga Sampanna, full of yoga avatar. Next day he made a vow and began to fast. He absented himself from the masjid, resolving not to go there until Baba blessed him. 3 days passed, and on the fourth day, a close friend of his from Khandesh turned up, and with him he went to masjid for Baba's darshan. After the salutation, Baba asked him whether anybody had gone to call him, so that he had come. Hearing this vital question, the doctor was moved. The same night he was blessed by Baba as he experienced the bliss supreme in his sleep. Then he left for his town, where he experienced the same state for a fortnight. Thus his devotion to Sai Baba increased manifold. The moral of the story is mentioned above, specifically that of Mule Shastri, is this, that we should have firm faith in our Guru and nowhere else. More Leelas of Sai Baba will be described in the next chapter. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sri Sai Ram.